Good morning, everybody. And is it just me, or has it been even more difficult with this time change? You see, I'm an early morning person, as most of you know. And the fact that it stays dark till 7:30 a.m. has got me all kinds of screwed up. Tiffany said, Brooks had me up early this morning. Yes. Coffee with Crockett. Got to talk to Gaelic this morning, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Good morning, Court K. Good morning, Joy. Who did I miss in the pre-party? Hey, Tracy Lambert. Wicked Beekeeper said, woohoo, caught alive. If you have any tips for beekeeping, please send me an email and I will forward it to our main mod, Major Pat K. She's been having some bee problems. Ginbug, our girl from Arizona, they don't do daylight savings. Look at this, rubbing it in. Morning, everyone in Brooks. What's this daylight savings? They need to do away with it altogether. I mean, really, it drives me nuts. Now, I did have a guest coming on today. His name is Chris. He is a family friend of Riley Strain. And well, sometimes these things happen where guests can't come up. It's not the first time I've said we're going to have a guest and the guest couldn't make it. What to do? Some people have more of an important life than talking to me, I guess, but that's all right. So to talk about my morning, as I was saying yesterday, we're under a tornado watch. The tornado watch went on until about 6 o'clock last night. I'm an Okie. I sleep through that stuff. Not a big deal. But as you know, we have moved. I've been cleaning up the backyard. I will say sticks. I won't say limbs anymore because that scares Cat when I say I'm throwing limbs over the fence or gathering limbs. So anyway, I couldn't get the deadbolt locked on the back door. So all I did was I locked the knob. You know, the knob you turn. Well, around like 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, I wake up a little earlier than I normally do considering the time change, but that's all right. But I realized that OJ wasn't in bed, and normally he's right on the pillow, right next to me, and I'm like, well, what's that little booger doing? So I check my phone, see what time it is, and I'm like, what is that noise? And I could hear the wind. And I'm like, oh, for the love of Cain, is it still storming out there? Geez, this is a brick house. How am I hearing this shit? So I go to get my coffee, walk into the living room, and then there's this door that goes out into the backyard. The door is wide open. The wind obviously knocked it open. So I get my little remote that I call Find a Kitty, Find an OJ, and no OJ. There's no ding, ding, ding anywhere around the house. So I'm like, uh-oh, he's outside. and he hasn't been outside. So he doesn't have any scent or anything out there of his own. So I go outside and I'm rattling his food, doing the find a kitty. I get a hold of this local group on Facebook for, lost and found pets around here. Start getting, flyers together. I call animal control just to let them know I'm looking for my kitty. And the phone rolls over because they don't get in till like 8 a.m. to the local police department. So just imagine my description, my missing cat description of OJ. This officer was, for one, he wasn't getting me. He goes, well, I'm more concerned about the fact that your back door was open. He was like, do you want an officer to come out and make sure that nobody was trying to break in? I said, piss on that. I said, look, no sex predator is going to come after my crusty old ass. I said, so what we have to do is we need all hands on deck to find OJ. He goes, can you describe OJ? I said, he's roughly 19 pounds. He is black. He has a red collar that says OJ Tulsa. He has a chain that says OJ Tulsa. He has a green bow tie on for St. Patrick's Day. And then he has this tag that hangs off of him with a remote so I can find him. And he goes, okay. He goes, so roughly 19 pounds, black, name is OJ. I said, yes. I said, that is his government name. And he goes, okay. He goes, what I'm going to do is when I get some relief here, I'm going to come out, drive around, try to find OJ. And I said, all right. Well, then I'm hearing something at the back door and I open it. There's the black bastard standing out there. He comes prancing in, looking at me like, you're telling me that there's no food in my bowl? And I said, OJ, don't ever do that to me again. Oh, he had a great time. I have no idea how long he was out catting around the neighborhood, but I was about to have a heart attack. Gaelic sent me a message and she was asking about the storms and stuff. And I said, piss on those storms. I said, I'm hysterical. I can't find OJ. So she calls to calm me down. It was horrible. And I was crying, talking to the officer. And I said, in his little pink collar, I said, it's red, actually. I said, his Aunt Jules got that for him. It says OJ Tulsa. I said, he's easy to find. If you want to come and get his snacks, if you rattle those, he'll come to you. I said, he might bite you, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I was telling Gaelic, I'm like, how in the world am I going to tell DT Driver that? So I tell, Greg about it this morning. And I go, yeah, I told OJ when you get home, you're going to have a long talk with him. And he goes, OJ's not the one that didn't lock the back door. I said, oh, let's see how it goes around here. I see how it goes. But thankfully, he's back home. He's actually laying in the bed watching Lion King as if nothing happened. But anyhow, good to know that the police in our new community will come right out and look for OJ. Because, he was taking notes as if I was describing John Benet Ramsey being missing. He was like, okay, black, 19 pounds. Okay. Color of eyes. I'm like, he's a Bombay cat. Look it up. He's a Bombay cat. And he came right back to the door. Went through a whole bowl of food, 80 snacks, started watching Fox 23 News. Now he's back in bed. What to do? But we have a new case this morning. Not going to spend a bunch of time talking about OJ's dumbass anymore because I'm a little irritated with him. Jordan, me too. Really praying for Riley. This case scares the hell out of me. As a mama with 3 sons that like to go to New Orleans, they like to go to Nashville, they like to hang out in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. I am just getting all kinds of bad feelings about this, and his mama breaks my heart. I see a lot of blame game going around out there. People are saying, was he drugged? Was he overserved? Police are saying at this point they don't see any foul play. Well, I don't think, since you're searching the Cumberland River, I don't think he was so inebriated that he decided to go swim in the river. I do wonder about this homeless community because they've had a lot of issues with that community before. But I don't want a bunch of unhomed American sympathizers coming into chat saying, how dare you talk about the homeless community? They are minding their own business. Don't want to get into that. Let's take a second and tell everyone hi, howdy, hello. We made it to Friday. Midwest, thank you for the super sticker. She said, glad OJ is back. Thanks for covering Riley. You know, you're not going to get breaking news around here. I'm always the last to know everything. So I've been going through this since, yesterday. Talking to a family friend quite a bit. Matter of fact, I got a message from him this morning. He can't come on. He might be able to later, so I will send him the link just out of good measure. 6:27 a.m. At this time, OJ was back home, and I wasn't in a panic anymore. He said, I'm going to have to postpone this morning. I'm working remotely with the police this morning on a new lead, and I'll have to reschedule. I'll message you when I get done. And he said, it's just a lead from last night's canvas. It may be nothing. We will see. Well, I hope it's something, because the last ping on Riley's phone was on the other side of Nashville. Now, I know his parents, they want to get this Apple warrant back ASAP. They want Lyft and Uber to share their rides from that night. It is beyond bizarre. Luke Bryant is speaking out left and right. He's like, I'm praying really hard. Nothing against old Luke, but he's praying he don't get sued, because now he's got the state of Tennessee on his ass about, did they possibly overserve? I don't know. Time will tell, but there's a lot going on. Scared the hell out of me when I saw him falling down and stuff like that. The buddy system is all I can say. I don't want to make his friends feel even worse than they already feel. But these towns where people go to celebrate, especially spring break, because they're really overpopulated then. Buddy system, buddy system, buddy system. I understand that the friend that was gonna, when Riley was being told to leave, he got stuck in there trying to pay the tab. If you've ever been on Broadway in Nashville, especially certain times of day, it is shoulder to shoulder people. And when it's time to pay the bills, sometimes it takes a while. I mean, sometimes they'll bring you more chips and salsa and another beer by the time they bring you your check. They want you there as long as possible. So from what I'm understanding is, when he was told to leave, he just left. The friend that was paying the tab, it was his intention to leave with him, and he got away from him. Nothing against Nashville. Fun town. Really fun town. And who in the area can give me some information besides what the media is saying, what they're searching, what they think? Have any of you gone out to search? Because I've heard from a lot of people that they've had like their own searches out there. Thank you, Gaelic Girl, for the super sticker for OJ. I'll put that into his college trust fund. All right, let's get to it. First of all, I'm going to start with his mother's plea. And We have talked a lot about moms on this channel, dads on this channel, and how they react when their child is missing. And we always get the blowback if I have something to say. I mean, most recently, Jen Soto. I spoke a little bit about Audrey Cunningham's grandparents. I always get a blowback. Well, you don't know how you would act in that situation. I said it about Candace Wells. I'm like, this chick isn't, she doesn't have the panic. She kind of has a, I don't care. Not this mama. This is exactly how I would react. Because you raise them right. Riley was set to graduate in a few weeks. You raise them right, but you never know what's going to happen. You never know. Hang on, what do you mean? You can Google his name for updates. Yes, I am fully aware of that. I'm talking to the locals in there. They know, because word on the street is much more reliable than Google. Jordan, did they call 16 hours later? As we know, in every case, new case, there's a lot of misinformation. Not my understanding. That's been cleared up. They did call pretty quickly.
We begin with developing news we're following out of downtown Nashville tonight. The search for a visiting college student who hasn't been seen or heard from since Friday night. Thanks for being with us, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston. Take a look here. Police say Riley Strain was enjoying Lower Broadway with his fraternity brothers when he seemingly vanished. News Channel 5's Hunter Hoagland talked with Riley's family, who are understandably desperate for answers.
Now, also remember, they're from Mizzou, University of Missouri. That school has been in trouble a few times for hazing people into fraternities, even sororities. I don't believe this is any sort of hazing event, because he's been on vacation with these buddies before and he's already in the fraternity. So I'm not going to get into that one.
Through the hustle and bustle of busy Broadway, a Missouri family is in the middle of a mystery.
I just need to know where my son is.
Michelle Whited is heartbroken, going on night 3 without her son.
We talk every day, multiple times a day.
Okay, this is a little older interview. This is from a couple of days ago. Today, unless he's found, today will be a week. He went missing last Friday. And his mama will take your breath away. You just want to hug her. It's his mom, it's his dad, and his step-parents. And it is scary. Lisa A., this is what Tiffany said. She said, I'm worried he was drugged at the bar. Yeah, I'm worried about that too. I don't know anything about his alcohol usage pattern, but when he takes off running, face plants, and it takes him a good 30, 40 seconds to get up. I saw at one point where he was almost turned himself into a whole circle following people. Oh, man. You're always going to worry about your kids.
And this is the longest I've ever gone without talking to him. It's devastating. I just want to find him and hug him.
Riley Strain, a senior at Mizzou, visited Nashville for a weekend getaway. Metro police say the 22-year-old in town with fraternity brothers had been kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar on Friday night and never seen again.
The boys called and told us that Riley was missing.
Riley's parents, Michelle and Chris, made the 7-hour drive from Springfield, Missouri to search a loud and busy street for their son, all while trying to stay hopeful.
He's such a great kid. Such a great kid. He's supposed to graduate Mizzou in May.
His family says they pinged Riley's phone from Life 360, showing his last known location was here in Public Square Park, only about half a mile away from Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. Metro Police shared these photos with us. It is the last known image of the 22-year-old, with Riley standing at 6 foot 7 inches tall. His family hopes his face will stick out in a crowd of others. If Riley is watching this tonight, what is one thing you guys just wanted to know?
Oh God, bud, we love you so much. So much. And we're all looking for you. All of us.
That's Hunter Hoagland reporting. Police say they are reviewing surveillance video from Lower Broadway, hoping they'll spot Riley and maybe see where he went. He's very tall. He stands 6 foot 7. He has dirty brown hair and blue eyes. Like you, we want to get Riley home safely. So if you see him, please call police.
Okay. The mama breaks me in two. She does. Susie Sue said maybe he passed out and had alcohol poisoning. If he was overserved, that is quite a possibility. Was he slipped something at the bar? You know the old saying in Nashville, leave those Broadway girls alone. There's a lot of things. You know, right now, as of right now, they're saying they're not seeing any foul play. Well, again, they're searching the river, and I don't think he just fell in the river. That's just me, though. I do really worry about those homeless camps around there because they've already had issues with them. According to the friend of the family, Chris, I've been talking to, he said the homeless community, or unhomed Americans, as people like to say now. I can't keep up with the terms, okay? They don't have a damn house. They live in a tent. That they have been very helpful, actually. Well, I mean, to be helpful, you had to have seen something. I couldn't be of any help. Other people that were walking around can't be of any help because they didn't see anything. So if the homeless community is being very helpful, did someone rob him? Maybe he passed out and they got scared. I don't know. But the 911 call also is very chilling. We're going to go through it slowly.
March 9, 2024, 13:46 and 24 seconds.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, I don't have an address. I'm trying to file a missing persons report, and the Central Police is closed, and the sheriff's office said that we couldn't do it there.
Okay, so where exactly are you now?
We're in front of the Central Police, how do you say that? Precinct? How do you say that? Precinct. The Central Police Precinct on...
Okay, there's 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard and down.
Yeah.
Product.
You know, isn't that the shits when you're trying to get something done and it's like, well, we can't take it. We can't take it. Try this number. Try this number. You can tell this kid's in a panic. So when people say they waited too long to call, they really have been trying to file a missing persons report. Get it together, big cities. Brittany, thank you. Brittany said, I'm local and going out today with a group to search. Please let me know what's going on. Please let me know what's going on. I can give you, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, email, whatever. Bless you for doing that because they need all the help they can get.
Across from the Music City Center?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that where you're able to wait for a police officer to come and speak to you?
Yeah, we can wait for an officer here.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
Of my phone?
Yes, in case we needed to reach you back, what is the best number to reach you at? And what is your name, sir?
Braden, Brayden.
And your last name?
Baltz.
Okay. And who is it that you're wanting to report is missing?
We're here on a fraternity formal trip. It's one of my good buddies.
Okay. What is his name?
His name is Riley Strain. Riley, Riley, Strain, Strain.
Okay. Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
He's white. 22-year-old, 6'5", blonde.
Okay. And what was he last seen wearing?
Outside of Luke Bryan's bar last night at like 10, and then the last time his location on his phone was by the sheriff's office at like 11 p.m.
They were trying to track him on Snapchat. Good luck with me if I go missing because I don't have any of that stuff. So they were doing what they could try to do to try to find him, thinking they had all just gotten separated after he was told to leave the bar. I'm sure they have shown the police their text messages saying, hey, meet us at Alan Jackson's, or meet us over at Ernest Tubbs, or the upstairs bar, or whatever. Because they were going to continue their night. Overserved or not, these are kids on spring break. That's all there is to it. And word to the wise, this weekend is St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people are going to go out and celebrate buddy system, buddy system, buddy system. I don't care how old you are. Even my old ass would make sure everyone's accounted for.
Okay, and what color clothing was he last seen wearing?
He's wearing jeans, boots, and a half black shirt, half brown, light brown.
Okay, and you said it last showed outside the sheriff's department?
Like around that area by the river, by the sheriff's department over there.
Okay. Does he have any life-sustaining medications or disabilities?
No.
You know, it just really irritates me. And I'm not picking on the officer taking the missing persons report. You say a 22-year-old woman can't be found. They have a little more panic in their voice. You say 6'7", 22-year-old dude, we can't find him. They're like, oh, okay. I don't like it. I don't like the double standard.
And what is, you said he has a phone, so it's a cell phone, right?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
What is the number?
But it's hold on. Give me 1 second. I got you. Sure. All right, you ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
You said the last four were 4198?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to be waiting there at the door of the precinct, or are you going to be waiting in your car?
I mean, yeah, we're at the front door of the precinct.
Okay. I've got the call sent there at the Central Precinct, 601 Korean Veterans Boulevard in downtown, right across from Music City Center. We'll get an officer out to you as soon as we can. Please call us back if something changes before they arrive. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Like I say, just call us back if something changes before they arrive.
That's fine.
All right.
We'll be here.
You.
That gives me chills. Jude said he had an iPhone and an Apple Watch. I fear he was robbed. Same here. Same here. I do know his parents, again, they are wanting rideshare records. Apple needs to get their shit together. They truly do. Because it seems to take, we've seen it in different probable cause affidavits, discoveries, evidentiary hearings. The last warrant to come back to police, no matter how dire it is always friggin' Apple. I don't know why. I don't know why. Muscles and Mascara, thank you for the super sticker. She said the SEC basketball tournament is being held at the Bridgestone Arena this weekend, which is in the heart of the downtown bars. We need to make sure his flyer is out there this weekend to spread awareness. Thank you for that. And the Bridgestone Arena, we took the boys to watch a UFC fight. That's a story all on its own. Is massive. Massive. And there's not a lot of salt of the earth people that hang around it, okay? Super cool area, don't get me wrong. But anywhere you go, you gotta be careful, particularly in tourist towns. We spoke about it on the show yesterday about the whole Disney thing with Madeline Soto. And I said, listen, tourism is money. They never want to deter anybody from coming and spending their money and pumping those sales tax dollars into the town. So this is not a fun week for the mayor of Nashville. All right, a local station out of Nashville, Fox 17, retraced Riley's steps. I'm going back to, I can't get his mom out of my head. I cannot get his mom out of my head. I have a feeling after this, things are going to change as far as bouncing people out of the bar goes. I have a friend that owns a bar in little shitty Claremore, Oklahoma. And if somebody's had a little too much, she doesn't just grab the baseball bat and say, get the hell out of my bar. Somebody responsible has to pick them up and get them out of there, even if it's the police. As long as they make it home safe. I mean, she's not going to go check on them. But there's no just get out of here. Now, if it's something bad, yeah, I mean, she'll just call the police. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for being here. I'm blushing. I'm blushing. And retracing his steps gives me the willies.
Now in the search for Riley Strain. The University of Missouri college student walked out of a downtown bar on Friday night and has not been seen since.
Strain's family is in Nashville desperately working.
I want to make it clear. I don't like that they're trying to protect Luke Bryant's bar. He didn't walk out of the bar. He was told to get the hell out of there. His friends were probably afraid that he had gotten arrested when they couldn't find him. Just imagine. Some big old burly bouncer comes after you and says, get out of here. You're acting up. You're drunk. You're stumbling. Can't have you on the property. You're too drunk. Now, the over-serving is going to be a problem because we don't know where the party started. Not everybody that goes to the bar has a clean slate, if you know what I mean. They've probably had 2 or 3 before they got there. Tar Heel said, I heard the bouncers roughed him up a bit. I had not heard that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
To help police find him, Fox 17 News has confirmed the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission is now investigating if any bars overserved him.
And Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino has uncovered more security video straying after he left Luke Bryan's honky tonk.
We're working to confirm Riley Strain's exact path that night. We know he left Luke Bryan's bar at about 9:40. I then found new surveillance video today that confirms he crossed the street here and made his way up 3rd Avenue.
His disappearance gripping the nation. Riley's father telling me his son got separated from his friends while getting kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar.
He was put out of the bar by himself, and there was a time that went by that his friend wasn't able to get out. We believe they were taking care of their bar tab or whatnot. By the time they got outside, he just wasn't there any longer.
Luke Bryan posting, y'all, this is scary, praying for his safe return. Luke's 32 Bridge Bar hasn't responded to our request to share their surveillance video of Riley with the public. They did give it to police, but Riley's family tells me they haven't seen it from detectives either.
They're not really telling us a lot. You know, if they have more, they're keeping it tight-lipped right now.
The Old Red Bar across from Luke Bryan's also confirming they have video of Riley crossing the street and are only sharing it with investigators. This security video from the Escape game room on 3rd Ave shows what appears to be Riley walking by. You can then see him running onto...
Okay, I'm going to slow that down. Thank you, Salt and Cayenne, for the super sticker. His mom confirmed that he sent her a picture of him in his shirt, and that she FaceTimed with him. Now, we can tell she's a mama bear. If he was already thick-tongued, if you know what I mean, I have a feeling mama bear would have said, why don't you get something to eat and then go out tomorrow? So I don't believe his mother picked up on him being inebriated at all. And I agree with Jordan. If he's out there wandering around, he would see his billboard. Because imagine Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and the step-parents when they hear from his friends. They weren't sitting there dicking around with Southwest Sky Miles. They hightailed it to Nashville. They're there now. Reminds me of Natalie Holloway when the family packed up and basically moved to Aruba. They already said they're not leaving until they find their boy. Lisa, thank you for the super sticker. Says, thanks for covering Riley. You better believe it. As a boy mom, this scares the hell out of me.
This security video from the Escape game room on 3rd Ave shows what appears to be Riley walking by. You can then see him running onto Church Street and then slamming into a pole in this parking lot. Another video then shows Riley stumbling up 1st Avenue towards Gay Street near the river, holding his head. His phone last pinged near Public Square Park at 9:58, according to his family. They tell me detectives do have more videos showing Riley near the James Robertson Parkway Bridge, but then that's it. There's no trace of Riley after that.
There's not been any activity on his
That's what tells me he was probably robbed. Because the last ping is a ways away. We have seen the video of him running, and then he falls down. I think he was running from someone. And if you've ever fallen down drunk, I'm not going to say anything on my own behalf. You're kind of like jelly. You know, you pop right back up. There was something else going on with him. So I don't know if it was because he was roughed up by the bouncers, because he was holding his stomach. He knows where his friends are. Really seems to me that he was running from something.
Near the river, holding his head. His phone last pinged near Public Square Park at 9:58, according to his family. They tell me detectives do have more video showing Riley near the James Robertson Parkway Bridge, but then that's it. There's no trace of Riley after that.
There's not been any activity on his banking accounts.
Riley's parents tell me they believe he could have been drugged. Questions are also surfacing about what responsibility the bars may have in all this. The TABC tells Fox 17 News there are no specific laws governing businesses escorting out intoxicated patrons or giving them assistance in getting home. But it is against state law to serve alcohol to someone who is already visibly intoxicated. The TABC is investigating whether that happened to Riley.
And Riley's family tells me the United Cajun Navy is on standby, ready again to help search the river as soon as investigators give them a better idea of where exactly to search along the waterline at this point. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Scary as hell. Tara Blue, thank you for the super sticker. Investigations Unit. Woo, welcome to the family. You're going to like it here. We have a lot of fun on our members' lives. We certainly do. Sarah M., I want to know this too. Did he walk over the bridge? So much water there. I'm a little confused. I've been to Nashville many times. I'm confused about the path he took. I truly am. Jules, what are you doing giving me a super sticker when your birthday's coming up? Girlfriend, you're going to get spanking. Well, this is where they're searching now. It's a very active search as well. And as if you didn't already feel bad enough for his mama, just imagine the look on her face when this came across the news last night.
Water, a helicopter in the sky. Crews spent another day looking for 22-year-old Riley Strain. The college student disappeared after a Friday night on Broadway. From the Cumberland itself to homeless encampments in the area, search and rescue scouring around the river. Let's go to News 2's Adam Mintzer, joining us live from downtown Nashville. And Adam, what have search efforts looked like throughout the day today? Get us caught up.
Mark, they've been mainly concentrated here, this part of downtown Nashville, near the Cumberland. We saw urban rescue teams actually propelling down the edges of the riverbank, looking for any signs of Riley Strain, whether that's clothes, a wallet, shoes, you name it. They were looking from the ground, but also from the river itself. We saw them on boats looking inward, looking into the shore. Also, we saw helicopters and drones looking as well. The reason that they were here is this is the last known location of where Riley Strain was. That's according to cell phone data. And this surveillance video, what you can see is Riley Strain appearing to stumble and look a little disoriented. Now, this all started around 10 o'clock last Friday night when Riley Strain was here in town for a fraternity event with some of his fraternity brothers, as you were saying, at Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. He was actually kicked out of the bar for being too intoxicated and told his fraternity brothers that he was going to walk back to the hotel. But that was in the opposite direction of where surveillance video has continued to catch him.
I wonder about that myself. Okay, now one of the friends was paying the tab and was going to go with him. Obviously, it didn't work out that way. He didn't walk out as if he's just some regular customer. He was bounced out the back door. They don't want to upset any of the other patrons at the Luke Bryan bar. They don't want them thinking that. I think it should be a law. You don't know how much someone's had to drink when they get there. You don't know their tolerance to whatever juice they're being served. But I think it should be a law. If someone gets a little too tipsy or a lot tipsy, call them a cab. You've got all those bouncers standing around. Put them in a cab. So he says he's going to go to the hotel. Maybe he was looking for someone else, somewhere else to hang out. Maybe he was thinking his buddies were going to meet up with him. If you're that inebriated, you're obviously, and you're in an area you're not familiar with, it's pretty easy to get turned around. Hell, I get turned around in my own local community. And I want to know, because it was a group of guys that went. Were they all at the bar, or just him and that one friend, and the other guys were somewhere else? I don't know. I'm getting conflicting stories on that. Love you, Muscles. Look at that, Muscles. Member for 24 months. 2 solid years of friendship. Been here much longer. Damn, girl, you have. You have. And look at that, Muscles gifted 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. I got to play the song. If you guys are new here, you know. If you know, you know. I have a question. You getting lost in there? I don't know what you're talking about. I'll tell you what, this is just driving me nuts.
Too intoxicated, and told his fraternity brothers that he was going to walk back to the hotel, but that was in the opposite direction of where surveillance video has continued to catch him. And what we are continuing to see is that he is looking a little bit stumbly in each one of those. Now, the next morning, his fraternity brothers called 911 saying that they couldn't locate their friend since there has been no signs of Riley Strain. And as we move into what's been nearly a week since his disappearance, investigators are still looking for leads.
A lot of times it's recanvassing the area. It's looking for additional video. Sometimes you miss cameras on a building. Sometimes there may be a witness that maybe hasn't been working the past 3, 4, 5 days because maybe they've been on vacation or out of town or sick, and then they show up and, oh, well, I was working that night. So a lot of times it's recanvassing those areas because you never know when you'll find a witness that actually saw something.
We know that law enforcement are talking to people who live and frequent this area, a lot of the unhoused community, trying to get a better idea of who may have seen Riley Strain. They say so far there are no signs of foul play, no indications he was taken or put into a car. They're still waiting to receive extra information from his Apple Watch data and his phone. Reporting live in downtown Nashville, Adam Mitzer, News 2.
Adam, thank you. And you can find all of our reporting on Riley Strain at WKRN.com right now.
Apple, get it together. You have a missing 22-year-old, I'm just going to say kid, because, you know, hell, I'm 48 years old. He's a kid to me. Apple, get it together. Investigations unit said I skip traced the property at Luke's 32 bar. I'm going to put the link up if you would like to come up, or anybody, and like to discuss this, because my brain is broke. The only thing I can think about the Apple Watch, the phone, anything he had on him is he was possibly robbed. He didn't just fall in the river, and that's where they're searching. And after a week, he's out wandering around. He's not out there wandering around. He's got too many people looking for him. Brittany said, I'm at the river now. Ellie is here currently. Oh, boy. Oh, Brittany. I agree with Gaelic. She said that damn stuff costs a fortune, so Apple, get it together. The Cumberland River is not going to be that easy to search either. If you know, you know. Let's go through what Metro Nashville police said yesterday.
Okay, we'll give him a second. Okay. Is that him in the striped shirt?
Yeah. I'm assuming he'll be back. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's on his way back.
Department's urban search and rescue team, a highly trained group of individuals, have been searching the river bank and the river itself using a sonar equipped boat. Thus far, we've found no sign of our missing person. Sergeant Bob Nielsen is a supervisor for our homicide cold case unit. That unit is responsible for investigating missing persons. And Sergeant Nielsen's going to go over with you now where the investigation stands at this point. Sergeant Nielsen. As Don has already mentioned, we've been out here with our urban search and rescue people today. We've also utilized my cold case detectives on foot, traveling through the area. We've also used aviation, as well as our police boat, which, as he mentioned, has sonar. In the past couple of days, we've also involved the Office of Emergency Management. They have a boat with sonar, and they also have a drone. We've had their drone operator come out here. And we've also been utilizing our downtown partnership people and just trying to make any contacts of some of the citizens walking through here, including people that live in nearby homeless camps, and have been re-canvassing for video and reaching out to some of the bars and businesses down here, which I'd like to point out that they've all been extremely cooperative with us. And I'm open to any questions you have.
The phone, when it went down, is there any tracing of the phone?
So the last thing we had on the phone information was all of the pings that they did were based on exigency, so we were able to get that. Apple has been very helpful with us. We're still waiting on some phone record information. We're still waiting on that data. However, the last ping that they had was off a cell tower near Top Golf, which is on the other side of the river. However, the radius is about 2 miles, so it doesn't give us a direction to travel or more detailed information. We just know that that's the tower that it hit off of. We're still waiting on the phone records. We don't have the information quite back on the Apple Watch.
Well, then Apple's not being that cooperative if you're still waiting on those things. Uh-oh, I always pause in the wrong places. Look at this. This officer's got his O face on. I think some people are taking it a little too literally when they say that cell phone tower is where he last pinged off of and it's on the other side of the river. That doesn't mean he made it to the other side of the river. That doesn't mean that he went across the bridge. That's just where the tower picked up. And yes, he was kicked out of the bar. He was bounced out the back door.
I didn't know this. I'm not an Apple person, but apparently has its own separate phone number. So that's one of the things that we're also waiting on is data from that as well. It doesn't tell us exactly why they went down. There could be a variable number of reasons of why both of those went down, from we don't know how long he had them charged to, turned them off. I mean, any number of things. But the data right now, the rest of it, his phone records and so forth, we're still waiting on. We know that the last ping off that tower was between 9:55 p.m. and 10 p.m. And I believe the last phone conversation or attempted conversation by one of his friends was also during that same time. That was the last time anybody had any kind of interaction with him on the phone.
We'll talk about our cameras, Bob, what we know from the cameras.
Thank you. With the camera footage that we have right now, the last known footage we have of Mr. Strain was coming in this direction, which would be towards us in the northerly direction. It caught him between the James Robertson Bridge and Woodland Street Bridge traveling this way. He was on foot. There was nobody else around him that we can see. We do have some cameras on the back of our Birch building, which is our courthouse here. However, it doesn't catch him crossing the path of that, and they would have caught anybody on either side of the Gay Street connector. So at this point, we're kind of back canvassing, if you will, going back, possible route he may have taken from Broadway up 3rd down towards Church Street, down in this direction, to look for any other cameras we may have missed, as well as look for any other potential employees at some of these businesses that we can talk to that may not have been here past few days, but might have been here Friday night. So we're still going back and looking for more cameras and more witnesses.
The homicide unit, so there's really no way to tell whether the end of this story will be an accident or a criminal situation right now. You can't tell that, right?
No, there's absolutely no indication whatsoever there's any kind of foul play or other crime involved. This is strictly a missing person investigation at this point. Obviously, those things can always change. We just don't know. But right now, all of our resources are dedicated towards finding him. We're not conducting a criminal investigation of any type. So we're utilizing all of our detectives and our other resources, as we mentioned, in just looking for him. Because like I said, there's no indication he was in a fight or argument with anybody on the street, as far as we know right now, or anybody in any establishment he may have visited. So we're just solely looking at this as a missing person case.
Okay. If you've ever been down Broadway in Nashville, it is bar, restaurant, museum, restaurant, bar, museum, one souvenir shop. They all have cameras. There has to be more camera footage than what we have seen. And hell, that might take them weeks to get through. Thousands of people out on that street. Thousands of people. Investigations unit, so glad you are here. Said TC Restaurant Group owns that building where the bar is. The company is not in Tennessee. They're out of Ohio. Marion, Ohio. And I bet they have quite the disclaimer, because it's going to come right down to whose name is on the door. And that comes down to Luke. I'm going to put the link in. You'll see a StreamYard link if you want to come up and talk. It's like talking on the phone. I don't bite. You don't have to be on camera.
Is there a way to trace Ubers, Lyfts, those kinds of things, taxis?
So we don't believe, based on the information we have so far from financial institution, that he utilized any kind of ride share. However, I know that I believe the family or someone has reached out asking if they may have caught him on video, because as we all know, a lot of your rideshare partners will have dash cams. And so people have reached out to them. Hey, if you see anything, can you send it to us, send it to the police department? But we have not seen any evidence that he would have used that. All the footage that we have so far, he was walking. So there's no indication that he got into a vehicle, whether a cab or a rideshare. And then, of course, until we get his phone records back, we can't see if he utilized any one of those types of applications as well.
There was a body cam of an officer dealing with another situation that officer came across Riley at one point. Do you have an update on that?
I don't. There was no real interaction between the two because that officer was dealing with that other situation.
Everybody good?
Any other questions?
Yeah. You mind just going back over what you did?
Oh, yeah. So I was just telling them that basically we've been utilizing our urban search and rescue people as well as our police boat. They've gone up and down the bank. They've made multiple sweeps. Urban search and rescue has checked several areas, including any dilapidated buildings, as well as there's a storm drain that people will use sometimes. So they've been doing that, as well as we've had our cold.
They're very focused on the river for sure. And that is eerie to me. Eerie. Got Me Stumped said, could you please thank whoever gifted me a membership? Thanks so much. That was Muscles and Mascara. You can tell her yourself. You bet you can. I got a couple of people backstage. Let's bring up investigations unit. I want to hear the thoughts. Then I'm going to bring up Angela. Welcome to the channel, investigations unit. You're muted. What do you know? What do you think?
All right. So do I have to mute the actual stream, right? Your stream?
It doesn't sound like there's an echo or anything. So right now you're good. So,
okay,
What do you know? Because obviously you definitely are following this case for sure.
Okay, so my wife's a United States U.S. Marshal. I'm a fugitive recovery agent. So here we do what's known as bounty hunting. So I don't know anything about the case. My wife woke up today. She's like, "Hey, what are you watching?" I said, "I don't know, something about Tennessee because we were just there like 2 weeks ago." And she looked at the video. She went off. She's never went live on TikTok as a federal agent. She posted it, and she is so interested in what the heck's going on. So I started poking around, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that building is owned by a company out of Ohio, which I'm sure you can figure that out. And that Luke Combs statement is not even from him. It's his company. Oh, sorry, I have an African gray bird too. So they have a company called TC Restaurant Group, right? Which that statement wasn't even him himself. So what we've been doing all day is slamming him with ads like, hey, why don't you go publicly? Why don't you get in? Why aren't you out there searching? So the reason why I came on here, I found your Facebook group. I came in and I obviously donated to your cause because my wife is really invested and we're going to use our resources to help any way we can because we do find missing children, for our unit, not her unit. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm just here to support and ask me to come on board. So
Do it. Keep up the good fight. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say the more the merrier, but none of these situations are merry, if you know what I mean. So do you have any information as to why they're so focused on the river?
Well, from what I understand, because we do have a lot of tools and we're able to zoom in. And so if you watch the video where before he fell in the parking lot, there was a scuffle with a white F-150. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so the good thing is there's a company, those black cameras with the solar thing on the top of the pole? They're everywhere. That's a company called Flock. We actually have a contact with them. So we're going to see if we can get some information because anybody on your show knows about the Freedom of Information Act. You can get all that information if you do it right. So I think there was a scuffle and then somebody discarded him somewhere because the shirt was found on another homeless guy in the neighborhood on a bicycle. Then that same shirt was on a wagon. I don't know if you know about that.
That's what I've been wondering about is the homeless community. I'm going to get my ass handed to me in the after show comments about that saying, why are you picking on the homeless? They already have a hard enough thing going on. Listen, if he ran into the wrong person and they need a shirt and they need a phone and they need food and whatever.
Okay. So let me explain that. Okay. We go down to Nashville. We stayed at the because I really wanted to go to where Buzz Baynard is on the highway show on Siri Radio. So we stayed at the Margaritaville, and it wasn't the one I thought. It was down by that barbecue place. And I can tell you right now, homeless. There's a Starbucks in that hotel, right? And I'm noticing how the homeless people are begging for money and change and all that on the side of the building. So I pulled in, there was no valet. So I was asked them, hey, where's the valet door to get in? They said, oh, you got a valet park here. We don't have a garage. So I was like, you know what? We're from Chicago. So I'm like, I know this. So I went out of the side. I drove up the side of the building, right? And it was unsecure, by the way. And the homeless had a tent up in the parking garage of Margaritaville. I was like, what? So then there's a back door of the hotel that's not secure. So I called the wife. I'm like, hey, I'm in the parking garage. I went down the exit. I'm in the door shaft. She's like, where are you at? And I said, I don't know. I'm going down the staircase. So go by the Starbucks and you should see an outside door. I went down in that basement and with that door that was on, she goes, oh, I found a door open. Are you in there? I said, is the light off? She goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm coming down the staircase. I went down that staircase and there it was. There was homeless people or what you called it. What do you call it? Not no homes or whatever.
I don't know. I just say they don't have a house.
Yes.
And they have had issues, not just in Nashville, but many other cities with the homeless community. And I will say this for Nashville because it's a banging town. I like Nashville a lot. It's a wonder they don't have more problems there, considering the tourism. So this isn't a bash on Nashville.
No, definitely not. And I see somebody, I don't know if I don't know if I have a delay, because I can see in the back office with you, Luke Bryan owns the bar. You know what? I don't know if he 100% owns that bar, because the company, right, we found is TC Restaurant Group out of Ohio. And they say the concepts, they have Jason Aldean's Kitchen and Rooftop, Miranda Lambert's Casa Rasa, Tequila Cowboy, which he owns that too. I don't know if you knew that, or he's a part of that. So I don't know if they're just paying him to use the name, but the TC Restaurant Group that said it was him wasn't him. That's a company that owns that property, because we can run any address and tell you. IFSB LLC owns it. What's up?
Sure. And when people get into the restaurant business, it's very rare that someone just scrapes together all their pennies and opens it up. They have investors.
Yeah,
And that's how it goes. But what it comes down to in this situation is Luke's name is on the door. If there's a lawsuit, don't worry. Don't worry. The restaurant group will be involved in it as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. But here's the thing about that, dear. And I honestly, I'm a father. I've been in law enforcement 24 years, right? My question is this, and I hate to say this, and I know chat's gonna be pissed off, and people are gonna be haters. That's how they are. I always say hating's free. That's why broke people do it so well. That's why I dropped you a 20 bomb and I paid for the membership, because it's, I'm paying you for. I want to pay you because you have a good deed. You're being watched by 40 people right now on our law enforcement side right now, and you don't even know it. So, with that said, I want you to know that I didn't know where I was going to go with that. It was very important for you. But anyway, sorry, I got a brain fart. Are we actually live, or is this going to be recorded later?
Nope, we're live right now, and nobody's hating on you. No one's hating on you. I always say if somebody wants to be a hater, I always say the people in the cheap seats boo the loudest. So
yes, thank you. My lieutenant just said something in my ear. All right, so I'm a father, and my wife's the mother. We have children, and they're all of age now. Our youngest is 18, our oldest will be 27. If my name was on the bar, right? Wouldn't you see me in the street searching? Would you be out there?
Yeah, unless I'm afraid of a lawsuit. We don't know what, I mean, you know as well as I do, once it broke that he was possibly overserved, Tennessee Alcohol Bureau's involved, he was bounced out the back door, all of that, they're doing damage control. DT Driver said he thinks he was holding his belly because he was stabbed.
Oh shit, I didn't see that. But here's the thing, it's election year, right?
Yep.
I didn't hear you. Right? Correct? Right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I thank you. My wife doesn't even she's listening it through, because I'm TikTok live in it too. So she's thanking me because I've taken big interest in this, and I want you to know to keep rocking what you're doing. And I'll be in the chat if I can some way. I'm in your Facebook group, by the way. If there's a way,
awesome.
We can communicate. If there's anything you want me to run, skip trace. Remember, I'm private now, so this isn't NCIC. This isn't law enforcement resources. What she does. What I do, I can skip anything for you. I can find out. Like right now, I skipped the address, and I got Miss Hessler. I'm in contact with her at the TC group right now, the TC restaurant group. And I told her, I said, when are we going to get a real formal audio, video, go live with Combs or Ryan? And she said she don't think that would ever happen. I'm like, why? Because he doesn't really own it. I was like, oh, okay. I said, "Did you go on statement with that?" And she chose not to. Like you said, if there's going to be a pending investigation and lawsuit,
Oh, there's going to be a lawsuit. I mean, I have a very good feeling one way or another.
Yeah, what the bartender stated on there. If I get my hands on the police report when it lists, and I'm sure you probably get it too, but if we get it, can we get it to you so you can have it on your show for next time you go on here?
You better believe it. In the about section of the channel, there's my email address. And I appreciate you so much for coming up. Let's have a huge round of applause for our new friend, Investigations Unit. Okay. And to end the confusion, it's Luke Bryan's bar, not Luke Combs, not Blake Shelton. I saw on a Facebook group, they said it was Garth Brooks's bar. No, Luke Bryant. Luke Bryant, that is his bar. Where he rents the building from, I don't know. Who his investors are will be interesting to know, because if somebody gets sued, they're going to be named in it too. Let's see what our friend Angela thinks. Welcome, Angela. What's up? Sorry you dropped out.
I know, I fell off. How are you?
Good, girlfriend. Love your comments. What do you, not just in this chat, but other chats. So what are you thinking about this? Are you thinking foul play? Are you thinking maybe he alcohol poisoning, overserved, fell down?
I do think he was overserved for sure, and it is illegal in the state of Tennessee to overserve customers. So right there, that's an automatic lawsuit, in my opinion. But when he was walking and he started running and he fell straight into that metal pole. And he laid there for, about 50 seconds. And then when he got up, he was walking he was stumbling more than he was before. So I think they said a cell phone pinged at some hotel, but it was in the opposite direction of where he was supposed to be going. So I'm just wondering if the alcohol plus the hit to the head, made him a little delirious and he stumbled down because where he is, it goes straight down a huge hill into the river. So there is a possibility that's where he went. But with the homeless camp, I said in chat a couple of years ago, I was in downtown Nashville at night, and a homeless man tried to open my car door at a red light.
Oh boy.
So, that's a little scary too. So, I don't know. It's tough because where he is a sketchy part of Nashville, and with him not knowing where he was going.
Well, and the over serving, okay, let's say they get I'll just say ticket from Luke Bryant's bar. They see that he had 5 beers. How do you prove over serving? You don't know what he had to drink before he got there. You don't
exactly
went. They could have liquored up at the hotel and then went over to the bar, got off on Broadway and said, let's go. And they're not going to know his inebriation until they find him.
Well, what they'll probably do is pull cameras from inside the bar, because all bars have cameras, so they can see his behavior prior to getting drinks, what led up to him being kicked out, and how he was acting when he left. So I would say that would come into play. They'll pull those cameras. But about Luke Bryan coming and searching, you got to think also he's a huge star. And if he's out there searching, he's going to get more people just trying to get an autograph or talk to him or take his picture. That's going to take away from people actually searching for Riley.
Well, he's sweating bullets right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's scary. We need to pray.
Yep.
I did read in an article, you can't believe everything you read, but maybe this is what happened. He said that he wants to pay for any extra searches that need to be done. Obviously, he's not going to foot the government's bill. Don't blame him.
Yep.
He doesn't want to be too involved because he doesn't want it to be about him and his boss. Understandably, when this is about Riley Strain.
Yeah.
And also, if you've watched the morning news like I do, they're doing a lot of crackdowns on spring breakers. They're having an issue in South Beach. They're just saying, look, you amateurs, you don't need to be here doing that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the news conference, and then I'm going to have another question for you.
Okay.
Case detectives actually walking the Greenway all the way up towards Jefferson Street, because there's a lot of residential new buildings up there that you can't get to by vehicle. You can get to the buildings, but you can't get behind them. So we're trying to utilize everybody on foot, on boat. We've utilized aviation. Office of Emergency Management has come out the past couple of days, couple of times, both with the boat, with sonar, as well as with their drone. And then also I don't know if many of you are familiar with the Cajun Navy, United Cajun Navy. There's a couple different organizations from Louisiana, but they also have members in other states, including Tennessee. They've also come up here to assist us with an airboat and some of their resources from private organizations to also assist in the search for Riley.
Is there anything unprecedented about what's going on, or is this just a natural course of things that you do this investigation?
It's just a natural progression. With a missing persons case, people go missing for various reasons. Some are voluntary, some are not. Some could be due to a medical incident. Right now, we have no idea what happened with this gentleman. We don't believe that there's any crime involved, however. So all of our resources right now are dedicated towards locating him. And then once we find him, to try to see if there's any kind of, medical attention, something that he may need.
Okay, I missed this the first time I listened to it. That happens quite often. I am relieved to know that the Cajun Navy is there, because let me tell you something. They have found people in alligator infested swamps, cancerous swamps, Mississippi River, you name it. You want someone to get through some murky, choppy water? Call the Cajuns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't decide if I'm leaning more towards him just being so inebriated, having hit his head so hard, because that was a hard hit. Getting lost, stumbling into the water, or the homeless, or the people who have no house, to be politically correct, whatever. Homeless is what I say, but
and the question
is, they're rough.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
And saw him stumbling, and it's very possible they took advantage of that.
100%. And, a tourist town, people are going to their next stop. They don't really pay attention. And seeing somebody stumbling around in Nashville is not an uncommon scene. Sorry to say it. It's just not.
And you got to think, he's so inebriated where he was aggressive, ran into someone, got into a fight. There's a few possibilities, but the fact that they haven't found him in 4 days now?
No, but today's a week. And over serving in not just Nashville, but other tourist towns is not uncommon. They want them at that bar. There's a ton of competition on Broadway.
Yeah.
If it takes you too long to get your drink and you don't got your buzz on, guess what? You can go to Old Red's. You can go down to Alan Jackson's. You can go somewhere else.
Yep. And I feel really bad for the fraternity brothers. I've seen a lot of blame being thrown at them. They didn't know. They couldn't have predicted what was going to happen. They had bar tabs they had to pay. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't feel like people should be throwing blame at them, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I have to address this comment. I'm so glad it's put in here. Okay, Brittany is out with law enforcement right now. She's not law enforcement. She's just out there. Please be safe, Brittany. Ashley said Brittany is with Ellie and searching right now. Ellie has not found the shirt. And we need facts, not rumors. I know there's a lot of stuff in Facebook groups, TikTok, Twitter, the Snap groups, the Discords. We need the facts. Nothing's going to help Riley. That's not true.
Yeah, it's only going to make it harder for law enforcement to find him. But the river's rolling up there right now.
Host, can you launch the video when Riley was running the parking lot and fell? Yes, I'll put it back up. We already went through it once, but we need to look at it again.
All right, Brooks, I'm going to hop down. Tar Hill wanted me to say hi to her, so hey.
Woo, say hi to, I call her Tar Hill, not Tar Heel. Have a big and Angela. delightful. I just love her. I love her comments. She got into someone's ass the other day and she was like, quit talking about Brandy kneeling here. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know why people come into chats and they want to talk about something when it's clearly not what it's about. But hey, that's how it goes. All right, back to what the homicide unit is saying. If you can see what's on his shirt, it says homicide unit. He doesn't just have a regular old badge on. He's got on his purple shirt that says homicide unit.
And obviously we're looking for a positive outcome. And so, but we're open to all the information that we get. We're still utilizing our Crime Stoppers. A lot of people think that that's just for crimes, homicides, robberies, so forth. But we've also utilized that for people calling in. And I've been getting Crime Stoppers tips every single day regarding possible sightings or any information that people think that they have. I mean, you name it, people call us, we're checking it out. We've also provided our information so they can contact us, either me directly by email, my lead detective, or our public information office, our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that. So we're utilizing absolutely every resource we can possibly think of at this point. There's no reason to believe that he's been a victim of a crime, and I can't possibly think of any other resource we could utilize that we haven't used or are using right now.
Have they been notified to look as well? I mean, is there...
Yeah, he's been entered into NCIC, which is very common. So when we do a missing person report, when that's entered into NCIC, and as we bolo that information, we push it out to some of our partner, like, Sumner County, Cheatham County, THP and so forth, they usually get that information. Our fusion centers tend to push a lot of that information out as well. So that information has pretty much been disseminated. Yes, ma'am. That's true. So actually back in this direction, this first bridge is James Robertson Parkway. The next bridge is Woodland Street. He was last seen between those two bridges traveling in this direction. And that's the last footage that we have. I think that was around 9:52, 9:53, somewhere in that range. There's actually a large homeless encampment that's down the riverbank. And we actually made contact with some of those people today. Our urban search and rescue people talked to them. They even let us search that.
Boom. There's a homeless community that they have set up a shop down by the river. That's where they are searching. That's where they're searching. I'm looking back at what DT Driver said. I'm going to look at the video again. He's thinking maybe he came across somebody and got stabbed the way he was holding his stomach. Again, that's just speculation. We don't know if that's what happened.
That area, because that's treated like a domicile where some of them are. So they've been very helpful as well. And so we're just utilizing everybody we can talk to in this area, but that's the last known area. So what they told you is accurate. They just didn't know that the homeless encampment was down there. So.
Yeah, so at that point, we don't know if it went down or got hit, or we don't know anything. I think it was off.
Correct. And as I mentioned to them, there are cameras on the back of the Birch building, but they would have caught anybody on either side of the street. But there's nothing to indicate he came this way. So we also utilize the camera. There's a pole camera right there as well, and it doesn't show him in this direction. So in the event that he could have.
We have a little bit of confusion here. Okay, let's go back to it. He has been missing, well, today's a week. He's been missing since last Friday. He is from Missouri. It was Luke Bryan's bar that he was bounced out the back door. As far as rumors going around about his shirt being found and stuff like that, that has not been confirmed by law enforcement. We know we hear a lot of stuff on the internet. Rumors don't help. And yes, this officer is wearing a homicide shirt. And this is a replay from yesterday's press conference, but my show is live.
could have possibly have doubled back, and the other camera that we last saw him on didn't catch him. Both, actually, all detectives that we have out on this, as well as the security people that watch the parking garage, and the families themselves. I mean, we've had 3 different groups literally go through that parking garage for the past 2 days, just in case they've missed an open door, the safety netting in case somebody somehow went over the side. They've checked everything that they can over there, and security was checking again for us today, just because there's always that possibility the camera didn't catch him going back across, and maybe he went back up to James Robertson through that parking garage, as well as the stairs on the outside of the parking garage. Not that we've seen on video. I know some people that have called in have thought there was, but we haven't seen any evidence of that. I was told today that there was a homeless gentleman that may have actually seen him, like close proximity, like from me to you. So we're actually trying to find that individual right now to see if he can provide us more information, but we haven't been able to find him so far. Yes, ma'am.
Reiterated, especially today, how communicative y'all have been, and they're very pleased from that standpoint. Is it hard when you have a lot of family members in the area trying to help you? How do you work in tandem with family members in the search?
It's just like when we have a homicide, we try to have one point of contact, whether it's one parent, 2 parents, an aunt, whoever is kind of the spokesperson for the family, just because the nature of the investigation can be so cumbersome that it's hard for us to answer multiple questions. Like if there's 15 of you out here right now, realistically, we may not have the time to talk to actual 15 individual people, right? That's why we have public information officers, or like here, we're doing a quick briefing on it. So usually what we'll do, and as I've spoken to mom and dad today, was everything will go through them. So they have multiple ways to contact me. Any questions they have, even from other family, I've asked them to direct it to mom and dad, let mom and dad contact us, because otherwise it gets to be the telephone game, and then misinformation gets out there. And in this case, it's a missing person, but if it was a homicide, then we risk the chance of affecting the integrity of that case. And obviously we don't want to put everything out in a homicide. In this case, we're putting everything out because it's a missing person. But it still helps to have just one point of contact, just because everybody wants to know, but they also have to understand that for us to do our job effectively, we're utilizing literally everybody that we have that we can at the moment. And so if I have like 5 detectives here today, and they're all handling phone calls, well, then I don't have any detectives out here looking for this gentleman. So that's why it's easier just to have 1 or 2 points of contact. And 9 times out of 10.
I'm so glad he said that. We can't search for him if everybody's sitting around the damn phone. There should be plenty of people to answer the phone. There is a StreamYard link, Brittany. If you want to come up, I would love to talk to you. Investigations Unit, thank you for gifting the Crime Lines and Lies memberships.
The families are extremely understanding, extremely cooperative, and they totally understand where we're coming from, and we've always had a good exchange with that.
How many different agencies are actually actively on this?
Right now, as far as I know, it's just ours, and then some of the local groups, like I said, the Cajun Navy. I just was contacted yesterday by somebody, I think he works a task force with the state of Tennessee, so we're going to be reaching out to him as well. But right now, there's not really been a need for other resources based on everything we have between USAR, all the equipment, aviation, as well as the Office of Emergency Management. So I guess you can count them as an outside source, but I don't really, because they work hand in hand with us on so many other incidents. But if it goes to a point where we think we need additional help, whether it's state or federal, we have no problem immediately contacting them and requesting that assistance.
What's the plan going in tonight and tomorrow?
Pretty much recanvassing for video, looking for any other people that we can talk to, pretty much. Reaching out to other officers. A lot of our officers in patrol have really good rapport with the people in the communities, neighborhoods that they work. And so a lot of them get to know a lot of the homeless population. So if we say, hey, we're looking for John Doe, because he may have information, there's some amazing patrol officers that we have that know everybody in their area, and they can help us find that. So that's one of the things we'll be utilizing. And a lot of it now at this point is just filtering all the information. As I said, we've been getting just dozens of Crime Stoppers tips every day, pretty much since this has started. And so it takes time to go through all of those, scrutinize that information, make certain that, there could be a viable lead. A lot of them, as you can imagine, is just frivolous information, and I'll leave it at that. So you have to kind of filter that to know what you need to spend time on. Because just like with the Christmas Day bombing, we got all kinds of crazy things that came into us. So you have to know what to prioritize. But that's a good thing, too, about having as many detectives as we have. Because with cold case, we're all in the same office as homicide, and homicide alone has 28 detectives, plus I have 7. So that's a lot of people that, if we need that help, they're there. We've got all those other people that'll help us. And that's just for going through the Crime Stoppers tips.
Good.
Okay. I think this is protecting the family 101. Hey, look, I've got a homicide shirt on, and we're using, we've got Crime Stoppers and we've got, cold case detectives, but we're still just looking for a missing person. Maybe I'm reaching a little too far. I don't know. Angela said maybe the homeless people will talk if they take them food. Good thought. Sometimes the homeless people will take their food and then shut up. They'll get what they need, hotel for the night or whatever, and then STFU. They're not going to say anything more. Let's look at the surveillance video again. Now there's no sound, so you have to look at the screen. Okay, in the second caption, he's walking hunched over. That could be from him, in my opinion, him injuring himself from the fall, but I want to know why he's running. He looks hurt, in my opinion. How damn scary for him. Jude, can you email that to me? The unedited? He does appear to be hurt. And that's life in a busy town. You see someone fall down? Oh, he got back up. Oh, he stumbled a little bit. Oh, he had too much to drink. They go about their business. Did the bouncers hurt him? Was he overserved? Did he get stabbed? Is this a head injury? But they're searching the river. I don't think, even in his inebriated state, he decided to go swimming. And in a week's time, he would have sobered up enough to contact someone. All right. It says Luke Bryan is praying after new video proves what happened to Riley. Well, it doesn't prove what happened to Riley. It just shows he wasn't in a good state when he was bounced out of the bar.
the last known video of a young Missouri man known as Riley Strain. I'm going to stop it right here to circle him. Now watch as he appears to engage with another group of walkers, then gets a bit confused and turns to walk the same direction. Riley had just been asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar in Nashville, and I'll get to Luke's statement in a second, but first, I think it's important to share photos and prominent information about him, as well as a new video that adds new details to the story that kind of changes everything. Here's a close-up of Riley in the same shirt he's seen wearing in that video. There are billboards around Nashville seeking information. Riley is 22 years old and stands 6 foot 6 inches and weighs 165 pounds. I'll drop the phone number in the description of this video, but his family says the University of Missouri student is not the kind of kid just to go missing. Quote, "He's always texting me, calling me, FaceTiming me," she told WKRN TV in Nashville. The video I began with was captured at 9:47 p.m. on Friday, March 8th. Riley's mom says she talked to him.
Okay, I wish they'd get his height right. The friend, bless him, I'm sure he's never measured his friend before. He said 6'5". His mama says 6'7". Mama knows. His mama knows.
No more than 2 hours prior. The latest video and evidence that Riley might have gotten lost are coming up next. But first, I want to take a moment to recognize what this family is going through. At least 7 family members are in Nashville looking for him. He was in town for a fraternity conference, and his mom says the police have been extremely helpful. Leave a comment below if you can imagine the nightmare that they're living through right now. Let them know you care. Here's a map of downtown Nashville that shows Luke Bryan's 32 Bridge bar here. Families say he was staying at the Tempa Hotel here. Now, it's not certain what time he left Luke's bar, but we do know that at 9:47, he was spotted on camera here at the intersection of First Avenue North and Gay Street. That's kind of a strange intersection as Church Street turns into Gay, which sort of wraps around and follows the Cumberland River Greenway for about a mile before turning back into the city. Let me show you what I mean. You can see the Cumberland River would be on the other side of the Greenway, but this all moving north of downtown, not west, is where his hotel was. I mentioned Church Street because of this video. That's Riley running into view and tripping, perhaps falling into something. He seems to be very dazed after that. And subsequent camera angles show him walking more slowly afterwards, perhaps nursing an injury to his head. You can see there he's approaching the intersection of First and Gay. There's the road closed signs at the top. Now we have more context for why he almost gets hit by the van and looks very dazed. That's not to say alcohol was a factor. It just might not have been the only factor. We don't know, so we'll stop way short of adding the words bar and fraternity to equal some drunken accident. With this new camera, we can make a fairly educated guess that after leaving Bridge 32, Riley walked north up 3rd Avenue North, turned around on Church, ran into something, and then walked with that injury afterwards. In the first few days after the incident, Luke Bryan was quiet on social media. It's important to note that the TC Restaurant Group is who owns Bridge 32, not Luke Bryan himself. So he really doesn't have anything to do with the circumstances that led us here. Still, he forwarded the bar and restaurant social media message.
His name's on the bar. One way or another, if there is a lawsuit, he's going to be named. Because you eat at Olive Garden, there's not someone in the kitchen named Mr. Olive Garden that owns it. It's investors. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. This is called I'm saving myself from a lawsuit, period. Sick of hearing it. And no, I do not think Luke is responsible for what happened to Riley. But if your name is on the bar, you have some responsibility to your customers and how they are treated in your house. You see, my house technically is owned by the bank because we make a payment every month. But if you come to my house and you get hurt, it's going to be my responsibility. you're going to sue my insurance.
And added, quote, "Y'all, this is scary. Praying for his safe return." Fox 17 in Nashville has done some very good reporting and updating on this story. Police have used helicopters, drones, and a boat to search the area of the Cumberland River. Talking to WKRN TV in Nashville, Riley's dad, Chris, said the family feels like he came out of Luke's bar and got turned around. As for his friends, they're in the dark too. The group reported Riley as missing on Saturday, and they say they just got disconnected from him and couldn't get a hold of him via text or cell phone. His cell phone last pinged at a tower near James Robertson Parkway in Gay, which would indicate he kept heading north after the video we saw. Y'all, thank you so much for leaning into this story. It may not be the first of its kind. With so many country artists owning bars, accidents and tragedies are inevitable. In fact, we already saw one in 2022 when a man was killed after fighting with security at Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row. More recently was a story that mobsters tried to bribe a Vanderbilt quarterback with $300,000 if he'd fix games while they met at Jason Aldean's bar. Neither artist directly owns or operates their establishments. Y'all, on behalf of Taste of Country, we are sending our thoughts and prayers to the family, and we will be the first to keep you posted the more information comes our way. I'm Addison Hager for Taste of Country. Thanks for watching.
All right. Welcome. We've got some people in here visiting from Allegedly with Brittany. Angel P, thank you. If he gets a percentage of the profit, then he's going to be a percentage of the damn lawsuit. Forget about it. And this is definitely going to be a problem for the restaurant investors and for Lukey Boy himself, because the state of Tennessee, they've threatened this before, so don't get your panties in a wad. They've threatened it before. Anytime an alcohol-related incident happens, you're always going to get your local Able Commission coming in saying, we're going to open an investigation. How many times have you gone to the bar and it's all on one tab? You don't know who drank what. I can't tell you how many bar tabs old DT Driver has been stuck with. But this is going to be a problem for them.
To some new information tonight from Nashville authorities on the missing Springfield man last seen in Nashville Friday night on a fraternity trip. Police say they're working with Apple to get Riley Strain's phone records, but for now they're unsure if his phone died or turned off manually when he vanished around 10 p.m.
Thus far, we've found no sign of our missing person.
Nashville's urban search and rescue team is using a sonar-equipped boat searching the Cumberland River and riverbanks for missing Riley Strain, but so far, no sign of the 22-year-old visiting Nashville on a fraternity trip. Police say bank records show no evidence that Riley used a rideshare service Friday evening, and despite theories circulating online, there is no criminal investigation at this point.
There's absolutely no indication whatsoever there's any kind of foul play or other crime involved. This is strictly a missing person investigation.
We have now found another person that has had interactions with Riley at that moment. So that is panning out for us.
Family friend Chris Dingman has been the family's point of contact with us as they keep boots on the ground.
And Chris Dingman is the one that was supposed to be on the show with us this morning, but he had to postpone because, well, he's got other engagements.
In Nashville. Fox 49 Investigates has also been in contact with the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission. We requested records related to an investigation into Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway, where Riley was separated from his friends. The Alcohol Commission denied releasing records based on the ongoing investigation, but Dingman confirms the investigation is active.
Authorities are now doing an investigation into the bar.
Police also mentioned that Luke Bryan's bar and others in that vicinity immediately provided security video to police, though that video has not been made public.
She has great eyelashes. This is troubling. This is troubling. We're in the month of March. We have a lot of spring break trips going on. A lot of kids getting out for the week. We certainly do. I saw something on the Today Show. Al Roker doesn't lie to me. It said in South Beach, Miami, they said police are cracking down on the spring breakers. They don't want a bunch of alcohol poisoning at the hospital. They don't want to spend all week trying to find kids. And in this case, I can see a lot going on. I can see possible over-serving, alcohol poisoning. He could have been assaulted on the street. He's a rich, good-looking kid, okay? And when I say rich, I don't mean mom and daddy have billions. I mean to someone in a homeless camp, OJ's rich, okay? True Crime Karen says, is Crime Lines mind if we use her videos to spread awareness? Oh, yeah. I don't care. Do it. Tag it. Clip it. Play the whole thing. You're not going to, no, doesn't bother me at all. I am just floored that in 2024, alcohol is not a new damn thing if you've read the Bible. It's not new. So when you have a busy district like Broadway, or really anywhere, I'm not picking on Nashville. If somebody isn't handling their booze well, call a cab and get them out of there. You don't send someone inebriated to walk out of your bar who was possibly overserved and leave them to their own devices. No, you don't do that. It's about being human, not about being a businessman, not about being a big old bouncer. Look at me, I'll just kick him out of here. No, it's about being a damn human. That's ridiculous. Guys, we're going to continue to follow this. I really appreciate our callers for coming up. Thank you so much for the super stickers and gifting the memberships. Jules said, friends don't leave friends. Exactly. And friends don't let friends fall down. No. I'm not going to say too much about the fraternity brothers he was with, because I don't quite know how they got separated. I don't know for a fact that they just said, Riley got kicked out, but we're going to continue partying. I don't know that that's the case. When I find out more about that, if they deserve a proper dragon, they're going to get it. You know how we do here. We just need to know. We want the facts. I can do 50 shows a day based on rumors. I don't have the stomach, the attention span, or the patience to do stuff like that. But I got all day for you guys. I got all the patience in the world for my friends. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I know this case is disturbing. It's hurtful. It's worrisome. But you guys are always here for the right reasons. We might be back later this afternoon on the second channel. If you are not subbed, you're going to want to be, because it's nothing but just a bunch of BS. And again, you're always in good hands. Love the dickens out of all of you. And if I don't see you on the second channel, I'll catch you in Discord, one of the Facebook groups. I'm easy to find. I don't hide. And again, thank you for being the best chat and best community on the filthy YouTube streets.